happening? I hope you're all well. So Josh Warrington defeats Kiko Martinez by 7th round TKO. Let's talk about it. Going into the fight, obviously they had their first fight. Going into this fight, Kiko Martinez was coming off a fantastic win over Kid Galahad. And although he looked, the stoppage was, stellar, he was struggling during that fight and was getting comprehensively beaten. So going into this fight, it was a case of, he's 36 years old, still hits hard, however, he looks to be an aged fighter. Josh Warrington going in there after a draw against Maurizio Lara, and that draw was the result of a head clash. So going into this fight, Josh Warrington, I was thinking, is he going to be the same? Because prior to this, he was 30-0, and he hadn't won in 2 fights. It was against the same guy, and in the first fight, he was knocked out brutally and beaten up really. And in the second fight, although he won the first round, he boxed on the back foot in the first round and won it, I felt that there were moments in that fight where you thought, Warrington felt that, or it could be a matter of time, or, he won the round, but you could see that Maurizio Lara had some power that could potentially bother Warrington. And then obviously it ended, and in the second round, if I remember, I think there was moments where Warrington looking a bit shaky. Maurizio Lara hits like a truck. So it was a case of Martinez being past his best and Warrington potentially being past his best. So going into this fight, Josh Warrington jumped on Kiko Martinez and he got a knockdown. And one thing that was clear in this fight was the physical strength of Josh Warrington being superior to the physical strength of Kiko Martinez. So Josh Warrington was really able to push Kiko Martinez back. So that was obviously a key factor in this fight. Because even when Josh Warrington was on the back foot, you felt he could turn it up whenever he wanted to and essentially just bully Kiko Martinez, which happened in this fight. Kiko Martinez did well to weather the storm, and he actually knocked the head back of Josh Warrington at the end of the round with a solid jab. And I felt that Josh Warrington maybe used a bit too much energy in the first 2 rounds because he really slowed it down in the third, and it looked like he was giving Martinez opportunities, but at the same time it felt like whenever Warrington wanted to, he would turn it up, and consequently he would become the dominating fighter in there. It looked like, when Warrington maybe wanted to go on the back foot, pump out the jab and, slow it down a bit, he was able to do that. And then whenever he wanted to turn it up, it wasn't like Martinez was able to stop him doing that. Martinez though, hard hitter, slow but hard hitter. And that overhand right was something that Warrington, had to be careful of. I think he actually wobbled Warrington slightly, and I heard that after the fight he hurt his jaw. He broke his jaw, Warrington, so maybe that was from an overhand right, I don't know. And obviously the thing is in this fight, so Martinez he got stopped in the 7th round. Warrington got Martinez up against the ropes and he started to unload combinations on Martinez. And Martinez wasn't replying. He had the guard up, he was catching some of it on the glove, some of it partially getting through. And the ref jumps in and stops it. I mean, that was one of those, the fight was going one way and he wasn't replying. He was away from home. He gave the referee an opportunity to stop it by not replying or holding or anything like that. Was he seriously hurt to the point where the fight, should have been stopped on the basis of he was hurt? No. not in my opinion. However, he wasn't replying. It was away from home. He was probably going to lose the fight. So, what do you expect? If you're back up against the ropes, you're away from home. I know it shouldn't be like this. I'm just saying, if you're up against the ropes, you're away from home, and you're not replying, and the guy's unloading on you, you're giving the referee an opportunity to stop the fight, and that's what he did. There's no weather in the storm if you're an away fighter and your back's up against the ropes and the home fighter's unloading on you. It's just, you're giving the referee an opportunity. So I think that Martinez was going to lose this fight anyway. Warrington showed, because he hasn't won a fight in 2 going into this, and I think that and that's the first time it happened to him in his career. I think he showed confidence in there. He showed the confidence to unload. He showed the confidence to be aggressive, and he didn't look like what's the word? When a fighter's like taken a loss, and he didn't look shell shy. He didn't look like a nervous fighter in there. He looked like a fighter that was going to go in there. He knows he's not 1 in 2, but he's going to go in there. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to be physical, and he's going to unload on the guy. So, credit to Warrington for that, because coming back from, a loss and a draw where he was, a little bit dangerous for him in there. He's come in there and he's made a comeback. So, well done to Josh Warrington for that. Now, here's what I'm going to talk about. Martinez, I'm going to talk about Martinez as well a little bit. And I'm going to talk about the other thing at the end as well. So Martinez against Kid Galahad, Kid Galahad versus Josh Warrington was controversial, and I can't remember who I thought won that fight. I think I may have given it to Galahad. Galahad, styles make fights. Galahad really slowed down the tempo of that fight, and he sucked Warrington in, and then he almost was countering him and picking his punches, and Warrington throwing combinations. I think Kid Galahad was able to take the sting out of Warrington and negate what he was doing, essentially. So Kid Galahad has a different type of fight to Warrington, and so when you're looking at Martinez versus Kid Galahad isn't the type of fighter who is going to, be really athletic with it. I mean, I'm not saying he's not athletic, but he's not going to just unload masses and masses of punches at a tenacious speed the way Warrington's going to do that. So I would say, when Kid Galahad was up against Martinez, Kid Galahad, when he gets a guy hurt, he might go for it, but he's more picking his punches. He's more picking his punches, tidy, sensible, and being sensible is good in the ring, but sometimes you've got to take that risk. And I don't think Kid Galahad's the type of guy to take a risk like Warrington. So I think what happened here is that when Kid Galahad was up against Martinez, Martinez had time. He had more time, because Kid Galahad likes to slow the pace down sometimes, and he likes to negate things with his jab, and he likes to get that distance right, and essentially control you at range at times. And I think that actually allowed Martinez to recover, and I think that allowed Martinez to set up his punches, because if you've got, it's one thing slowing the pace down so you can control things, but if you slow the pace down, hopefully this phone doesn't run out of battery while I'm filming this. Hope it doesn't, but if it does, I'll just film on another take. So if Martinez, it's one thing negating the pace so that you've got more time to do what you're doing, but at the same time you're also going to slow it down to give the opponent an opportunity to think about what he's doing. So Martinez was able to think about how to set up that overhand right, and he landed and he got the win. Because Kid Galahad gave him that time, space, and room. And, an older fighter might actually benefit from that. And that was what happened. The overhand right landed twice, and Kid Galahad down twice, and what happened. So, but Warrington didn't really give him that opportunity, and that was the difference here. Warrington was kind of all on him. Warrington did the sensible things, you know, at times. He got him up against the ropes. That overhand right's not going to have that power when his back's up against the ropes. Also, being the longer, taller guy, when he was at range, I think he saw the overhand right coming. He's obviously going to watch the Galahad fight, so he's going to know about the overhand right, and he fought him as well before. So, you know, Martinez didn't really have the same advantages against Warrington as he did against Galahad. Now, with regards to Josh Warrington, I just want to say there seems to be head issues, or the fight against Lara ended on a headbutt or a head clash. It may have actually been a headbutt, and there were multiple head clashes in that second Lara fight. And some say that he was trying to get out of the fight because he felt the power. Maybe, maybe not. Only Warrington knows that. And then in this fight, there seemed to be head issues as well. At least one that I can think of in round one. And I'm not going to say that Martinez was going to win the fight. I don't know. Most probably not. However, round one, head clash, and Martinez seemed quite bothered by it. And you know, that could have changed the pattern of the fight. Not necessarily the result, but the pattern of the fight. I don't know. Is Warrington using his head to obviously, you know, get some damage inflicted on his opponents in a you know, in a way that isn't, you know, with the rules of boxing? Is he doing that? I don't know. But it is something to think about. It is something to consider. But either way, you know, that being said, Warrington gets the win. Who's he going to fight? I'd like to see the Lara fight. I think most people like to see the Lara fight. In my opinion, I think Lara wins that, you know. Warrington's got the power to bother Martinez, but he hasn't got the power to bother Lara, I don't think. I like to see a Lara fight. I like to see a Galahad rematch, you know. I'd like to see a Galahad rematch. I want to see I don't know what's going on with Galahad now. I like to see Galahad come back because he's a skillful guy. But I like to see Lara. I like to see Warrington in there. They were talking about Lee Wood, I think, maybe. But I'd most likely like to see a Lara fight. You know, that's the one I most want to see. So, respect to Warrington for getting a comeback. Respect to Martinez. You know, he could have retired on that win against Galahad. And let's see where both guys go. For my opinion, Warrington's got more left than Martinez, but you know, Martinez, he's had a long career, so respect to him, warrior. What did you guys make of the fight? Who would you like to see Warrington fight next? And do you think that Martinez should retire now? Let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next video.